What's up everyone, Live with the Pepperoni here, and today we're going to be working on the Roadster and doing the brakes. We're getting there. That means we're getting so close. So if you guys haven't been following or you're new here, I'm building a very traditional style, late 20s Roadster, trying to use parts from a pre-1954 era. And here it is. You guys can check out my other videos to see the rest of it. But today we're working on the brakes, and I ordered the right parts this time. So last week, I was going to attempt to do the brakes, but the hole in the front wheel cylinder was a 3/8, and I ordered 7/16 hose. I think I ordered it from the wrong year. I went on Rock Auto and I was looking like 49, 50, 51, and all the years are different, so I don't know exactly what year I ordered my front wheel cylinders from, even though everything else works. So I got the correct ones. So these fit in here now, like that. It works a lot better with two hands. But yeah, so that goes there. We're gonna run some line and get some brakes. I won't be able to bleed them by myself, but at least if I have them all done, then next time I ask Blake or James, whoever, to come by, they can help me bleed the brakes, and then we can stop. And then if I finish the coolant lines, I might be able to go for a drive. And I think I have a new next year goal, not for like the car in general. Like I'm gonna be probably driving it at this pace now that I have a better like mind on it, probably mid-November. Well, so maybe I'll be doing the first drive in the snow. I don't know, we'll see. It's gonna be cold, freezing and everything, but I think I'm gonna be, my goal is, me and Riley were talking wrench heads, and he was like, we should drive the Roadster to Bonneville next year. And I was like, ooh, that's a pretty cool idea. So I think next year I'm gonna take a lot of time off and everything, and I'm gonna drive the Roadster to Bonneville for Speed Week. So I'm pretty excited for that. I have, I'm gonna have to put a lot of miles on it next year just to like make sure that I can make that 3,500 kilometer, or I think it's like 2,700 mile round trip. But yeah, there's this dude on Instagram right now. I'll post his profile here. Maybe he has a YouTube as well, I'm not sure. His name's Eric. He's driving his Model A Ford Coupe with a blown flathead across the country to Trog, the race of gentlemen. It's like a super cool old style nostalgic race, but I've been trying to follow him. Everybody's been sending me his videos and stuff, and he stopped off at Cornfield Customs the other day, and man, like, it fully made me want to do that. I was so inspired. I was like, man, like, I've been like a lot of miles on my chopper and my motorcycle, like just going, stopping off random side roads, camping, just pull up a tent, just put a tarp on your bike, just sleep beside your bike and stuff. But it just seemed way cooler in a car. So yeah, I want to do more of that. I want more adventure stuff. I think that's cool. Experiencing life the way they would back then. But enough of my dreams and everything. Let's get to doing brakes. What we have here is a box of tricks. By tricks, I mean brake stuff, I hope. I ordered this when I was originally like trying to order everything for the car. So I hope I ordered the right stuff. And there it is. So we have, I don't know, I think that's 1/4 inch line for the back and 3/16 for the front, and I think it should be fine. Like I know drums typically take a bigger portion when they're going to the back just because drums use more fluid, not as much pressure. But I think the front brakes being, I don't know, 20 years newer, maybe they were designed for smaller diameter brake line. I don't know. We're gonna test this, we're gonna try it, and if it fails, I guess we're doing new wheel cylinders and brake lines to accommodate the front, but we're gonna go from there. So yeah, so this is like a Nicocil coated brake line, I think, or copper coated plate. It's really nice stuff. It's super easy to bend. It flares really nice. It came with a bunch of 3/16 and 1/4 inch lines, so we'll need those adapters and stuff, which is super cool because the master cylinder actually has, I think, 7/16 tube nuts coming out of it. So we'll have to do that to the front. I pulled this Willwood proportioning valve out of my toolbox. It's really old and screwed up. I have no idea where it came from, but obviously somewhere. So I'm gonna push this towards the back, even though there's a proportioning valve on there right now, but it's for a disc drum, so I think it'll just screw things up. So this one's adjustable. You can get these anywhere nowadays, well, any auto parts store or whatever. And we're gonna install that. Ooh, and for the brakes, Silent Speed Shop messaged me and was like, just use a pressure switch in line. It's way better than those mechanical arms that they never work. So I just got this pressure switch, universal pressure switch, and I'm just gonna tap that into the front because your front brakes activate before your rear. So I'm gonna put this into the front and the proportioning valve to the back, run some lines. I have to drill out the master cylinder bore a little bit, just so then I want the rod to protrude in a little bit, because right now it's like kind of got a point right there and I feel like it can bounce out. Might not ever bounce out, but I feel better be safe than sorry. So first thing, I'm gonna pull out the master cylinder, drill that out, kind of see what that entails, mount the proportioning valve to the actual master cylinder, and kind of go from there, because then that will leave us 2 outs that we have to get to, one for the back, one for the front. And I just realized that I don't have a T for the back, so we might not be able to finish this. Man, I thought I got everything. I also just realized I don't have a T for the front as well, so I'm just gonna rough everything in. I'll go from the master to the 2 T's. I know that the spacing is gonna be about that far between it. I'll flare them and everything, put on the ends, and then next week when I come back, right before I start doing other stuff, I'll just put them in so it's done, and then the brakes are done at that point. It won't be completely done today, but I can't glue them today, so it doesn't necessarily stop me. But the part store is like half an hour away, so I don't really want to waste an hour going there and back when it's not life-threatening. So I'm still going to continue on with the brakes. My brain's just been in the gutter lately. In the gutter. So here's a brake master cylinder. Sometimes they have ports on both sides, and then I could have just ran lines all the way, but that's not the case. So here is the proportioning valve. I think what I'm gonna do is just maybe bolt that like that. Some easy access there. Maybe I can even just move this here or whatnot. I think this is the front, this is the rear, but I'm not sure. I'll have to do some quick Googling for that. But whatever one it is, I will change that, put that there, and then wherever I put then that will go to the front. So I'll do some Googling and I will do some taking off. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this type of pen before, but they have a really long snout on them. They're super sweet. I use them all the time, but that's how we're gonna get this hole here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it on a little angle like that. I just don't want this brake line to hang down too low. That's like my only issue. These are just riv nuts. It's a Next Track riv nut gun. They're super easy. I just didn't feel like welding, so you just drill a hole, grab this, squeeze until it kind of gets too hard. You can just screw it in a little bit more if you wanted, just to get a bit extra pressure, but doesn't need it. Then you just unscrew it. And now you have 2 threaded holes. So there's that. That's all mounted. So now we're just gonna go from here. This, I believe, what I can get is the front and this is the back. So we'll have to go from here, I think, to here. And then from this one, we'll just come out, around, wrap around there to the front. The burring tool, I don't even know what the brand is, Noga. But I just use it on the ends. You just kind of like put it in there and turn it. And now it just cleans up the center so you don't have any residual metal pieces that could break your line. So this is the flaring tool I'm gonna use. It's a Titan. I'm sure there's other brands, but this specific one, it only does 3/16. It's, I don't know, one of the best flaring tools I've gotten. If you're for like under $100, over $100, they obviously do well as well, but for now, oh, that broke. That's fun. Funny how you speak like that. Anyways, so how it works, you just put the first one in. This is kind of like your tube stop. This one goes in there. You loosen these. You put this in. You crank these down with the 10mm. I usually just put this thing in the vise, but I don't have a vise here, so this will have to do. So that's cranked down. Now this comes out. I think it's 17. Comes out. Then you have this tool here. There's op 1 and op 2. So first you put your op 1 in. I think I'm gonna have to get the... So you put the op 1 in, and you literally just turn it till it bottoms out. Bottomed out. Now you undo it. Now you take that out. And you take this one, which is your cone. You screw it in there. Take this. Just screw it back in till it bottoms out. Once it bottoms out, you undo it. You undo this. And if all is well, which it should be, I've used this a lot, you get a perfect double-sided flare. And there are other tools that you can use with it and stuff that do the same thing, but this is the cheapest alternative I've found. I hate those clamp style ones that you put in. They just never work for me. So now you look at the fitting that was here. That one goes in all the way. Cool. Put this on here. And now we have the rear. So now we'll just bend this. You can bend them all types of ways, but I'm just going to bend them with my hands, my fingers. Go a bit more to 90. No problems over here. We'll have to put the tune it on. Actually, it's probably a bit long. So the middle has to be cut like a little cut a inch off. Just take two feathers. Mark. Put that in there. It's really annoying how that came apart. See, like I said, you put this one in. Don't forget your nut. Will that go all the way in? I'm gonna have to straighten this out for a bit. As you can see there, it like bottoms out. So here's that hole I was saying. I just want to drill that out a little bit. So I'll just find a drill bit, and I hope this won't turn. It is like one of those clips, so it might. So we'll see. I'm going to just try to drill it as it is, and if it starts spinning, then we'll have to take it out. Okay, that's about as I can get it without pulling it apart. So there's about 3/16 of an inch there now. So that'll make me a bit happier. It just gives it some, like, if it like bounces back or whatnot, it just doesn't like pull out. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so I didn't like the way that this brake line was down so far, because that was like the only thing to hit. So I just kind of cranked it up, moved the bracket. I can still access it from up here. I can get to my brake line here, like the hole. So I think we're just gonna keep that. Ooh. My mic just died, so sorry for the audio. I will put that on the charger right now. But yeah, so that's flat with there. So I'm gonna continue on and kind of like put the brake switch up by the pedal, I think. Or maybe even right here, because I can run wiring into this area. and then go from there. So I forgot my magnet mount, so that's why there's all the weird angles that I can't seem to get. So sorry about that. It's gonna be there. I'll take this out. I'm just gonna pull this out so I can, what's it called? Put the brake lines in. It'll be easier to run it through the floor here. And I'll have a good spot to do stuff. Yeah, so here's a brake light wiring here. And yeah, so that can kind of go anywhere. So I'll probably run some line around here, get it into the frame rail, and then run it in the frame rail the whole way. And then once it's in the frame rail, I can kind of go from there. I think that's probably best case. So as I was looking and trying to figure out where I'm going to run the front and the rear line, I realized that the portion that I got for the rear isn't really going to work because I don't really have anything to go to. I just got like one of these flex joints. So I was looking through my toolbox and I had this leftover piece from a project. It's like AN style. So in my box of parts, I just grabbed an adapter that had the correct end on it. And then I just went with a 1/8 NPT to 3AN adapter. So this thing I will put straight into the proportioning valve. And since the pivot's here, it's not going to move much, but I'll just wrap it around and then it'll go to the torque tube and then the rear axle. And then I'll just have to get like a T over there. So I've just been looking for all the parts for there. So let's put that in and then we can run some line for the back and then hopefully I have enough of the copper line. I think I'm just gonna tee it right here and then I'll run around to there. Rather than coming forward here, I just don't feel comfortable running the brake line over here. It just feels like it's a lot safer if I go around the back and through there over to there. Whether it actually is or not, I don't know, but I feel better with that. I could come up around the firewall, but that doesn't make sense either. So I'll just hide it back there. It'll be nice and safe and we'll be good to go. Okay, so got these all drilled and put in on both sides. So now I'm just gonna run some brake line, like I said, all the way to the front on each side, kind of get where they need to be. And then I will start on the rear. Come on. So yeah, I'll start running that stuff. I think, like I said, I'll put the T right here so then I can come back and then across over to that side and then just go in the frame rail. So I'll leave it kind of open here, but I'll have to make a little one from here to the T and then from there. When you're doing stainless lines and stuff, it's a lot easier to use one of the hand manual benders, and maybe you guys are gonna disagree with me and stuff, but for brake lines and this stuff, like I have a roller I forgot at the other shop that I would normally use to make the actual line straight, but not necessarily to bend it. Like doing it by hand, you can get really, really, really nice results and do it. Like I understand that the benders and stuff are easier and nicer, and then you don't hurt your fingers and stuff, but I don't think it's completely necessary. If you're not doing it every day, I don't think it's necessary to do. I did it. I finally did it. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna miss putting a fitting on, but I forgot to. It's okay because it's the one end, so now I'll just have to start from that way and make it this way instead of going the opposite like I had planned. Damn it. Okay, so what I like to do here on these ends, so what we'll do is we'll do a nice big bend here. Just make it nice and even, like that. So now we're almost at here. That kind of lines up there. Now overshoot it, and then you bend it back like this. So now it goes straight in, it's off the frame, and it's just like a nice little piece there. So I'm gonna screw this in. Right there. Now the back lines up pretty good. And I'll have to figure out a way to mount all this, but we're doing this. Okay, so this line's round. This has to get a bend in it. That's gonna go. I can probably just finesse that bend from that side a little bit. There we go. There we go. That will go there. That'll go there. Cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is from the axle to the center, I'm gonna use old style hardline. It sucks to use, but I feel like this will look better when you see it from the wheel well. And then from the T to the front, I'll continue to use this stuff. So I'm just gonna get this going from here, come down behind the axle to about the center. Or maybe I'll come up around here and then just kind of tee up in the middle there. And then once I get the tee, I'll be able to connect it. So like I mentioned before, so these ones here are actually 7/16. So you can see how they're a bit bigger, these ones. So the hard line I'm gonna make, we'll use these ends that go into there, and then I'm just gonna go to the middle of the axle and we're good to go. Do you guys have a way that you guys like to fasten your brake lines and fuel lines and stuff? Because I'm going to have to end up doing that pretty soon too, like, because I didn't do it this video. And yeah, so I have to run my brake line and my fuel line, so I'll probably run a hard line for both, but I'll need a way to fasten it and stuff. So do you guys got any tips, or drop in the comments below of what you guys know or have experienced. So the rear brake lines are all pretty much done. So come off the axle there, come around here to the, I have to put the T there, and then the same for that side. Underneath, where's my light? I don't know where my light is. But this, oh, my light's under there. That will go up there like that. And then I'll have to clip that to the, clip this there somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. Can you guys see that? The master cylinder is all good. Got the proportioning valve, the lines up front. And here's kind of the, where that T is gonna go, be somewhere around there. And then the front's all good in the hood. So yeah, I'm excited. I realize I'm gonna have a couple days of like just a lot of catching up and finishing, not catching up, I think that's the wrong way. Finalizing what I started. I've noticed like in this whole like video process that like, oh, I'll get something 90% and not finish it, just like these brakes. Although I can't, but I could spend more time fastening them and everything, but I have to go. So I wanted to get all the brake lines ran and everything. So then next day I'll do a bunch of miscellaneous stuff and get back on top of like, since all the main stuff is done, that will be kind of like I'll do a little bit of everything, but yeah, I'm excited. We're almost ready to drive this. The Bonneville idea is very motivating for me. Not that I'm not motivated, but just like, I'll like try to find more time to work on it and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys learned some stuff, ran some brake line. Hope you guys enjoyed. And so if you guys are still here, please click like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next one.